The reason why a lot of you guys are in a position where you're not having the consistency that you want in your careers is because you don't know what the fuck you're doing. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how to get the other person there. Why you and not everybody else? A simple identity frame, simple identity hook. That's all it is. You can't give people confidence and belief, as I have fucking reverted back to this morning, if you don't have confidence and belief in yourself. You can't fucking lie to people and help people overcome their own insecurities if you're lying to yourself. Everything that I'm going to coach and train you on for the next couple of days, guys, has to start with you. Because if it doesn't start with you, guys, and you're trying to help other people, they'll see the truth. How many of you have had a call and you're like, but I just said exactly how Billy told me to say it, and like it just didn't go where I wanted it to go, it just didn't happen for me? How many of you have been in that situation? Words are the cheapest form of education, and they're the cheapest form of conversation. And it's not what you say, guys, how you say it, but the second key to this is what? How you make the person feel. And you can only make the person feel it if you believe it. Will the skill set that you're earning here and wanting to earn, will it change your life? It's either yes or no. Or will it give you the life? It's really important. I truly believe that the skill sets that I can give you will make all your dreams that you're dreaming of a reality. And I can only say that because I have conviction in it. I can only say that because I've done it. Because you truly have to believe that you are worthy of the result. You truly have to believe that you are deserving of the result. You truly have to believe that you are chosen to have this result. Like I am and I was. And some of you are like, that is complete lunacy. But that's what it takes. I'll tell you a quick story. So about 7-8 years ago, I went to a conference like this all the way in San Francisco. And the man in the room was a man called Lynn Trin, who I ended up being business partner with in some stuff. And he said to me, there's somebody in this room that's holding on. There's somebody in this room that is hurt. There's somebody in this room that ultimately is not going because they haven't had the conversation with the person that has ultimately hurt them. And being in a room like this, I remember standing up and I remember telling them the truth. And my truth all the way back then was I was very disappointed in my dad. I was very disappointed in the relationship that I have with him and still have with him now. My brothers have a different relationship, and that's perfectly fine, and that's all part and parcel of growing up. You grow into different places. But for 20 years I was angry. For 20 years I was hurt. For 20 years I was very disappointed. Disappointed in the relationship, disappointed in that father-son bond. I thought it was very transactional. There was no real emotion, and my brothers will probably tell you that. When my dad he hugs and he pats on the back and then it's done. So there was no real love that I felt. But I remember sitting in that room and I remember standing up and telling the story. And I remember going outside and I was very weak in myself at that moment. I didn't have the courage to actually call him, would you believe? You're all like, no way. I didn't have the courage in myself to actually call him and tell him the truth, how I truly felt. So I messaged him. What that message done for me, what those small interactions done for me, it made peace. It made peace and it allowed me to just go. It made peace and it allowed me to forgive and forget. And hopefully yesterday, from what I shared and what we went over, there's somebody in this room, and you don't have to stand up and say it if that's not what you want to do, but hopefully there's someone in this room that maybe I've given you permission to do that too. Maybe there's somebody that has hurt you, maybe there's something that has disappointed you, maybe there is something that ultimately has let you down. And as I said to you yesterday, I am just a man and I've let a lot of people down, more so myself. But if you don't forgive and you don't let go, you can't actually go and produce what you can produce. And I always want to tell you guys the truth. I always want to be very upfront and very honest and very, I suppose, transparent. I want you to know who I am. I want you to know who I am deep down. I want you to know this is not a show, this is not a game, this is not a fucking circus act. This is who I am every single day. And hopefully yesterday, someone in this room can have the courage to go and have that conversation. And maybe it just is a conversation in a text message. Maybe it is just a conversation, without actual converse. And maybe that can be the change for you guys too. I don't really know. All right? All I can do is my best. And after that, it's up to you. So today, I want you to see the other side of this business. I want you to see not me, not Jack or Kieran or Kevin or all of us, because if you have enough conversation with us, what you'll see is a trend across the entire company. What you'll see is a a personality trait across the entire company. But who I want to speak to you guys now, today, is my very, very best of friends, Nikki. And somebody that has fundamentally been a cornerstone of this business and has educated pretty much all of you in this room with me. I want you to see who we are also. And I want him to tell you his story and what he's gone through over the last, I suppose, 12 months in his life as well. Because I want you to see who we truly are, okay? And then you make your choice, whether you're with us or you're not with us or you're against us or whatever else may be in between. So when you're trying to isolate your objection, you have to give a couple of options. And you have to give a couple of options, especially when you're dealing with fear, because people are scared, they're apprehensive, they're nervous. Anyone ever see, when shit kicks off, women running around like a headless chicken? They're like, why are you screaming, cunt? Anyone ever see those women? When it all kicks off, they just start screaming and shouting. So they just lose all capacity and all function. And it's not just one particular sex, it's males also. You ever see a couple of Karens running around when all shit kicks off? Yeah, they're the same. So the problem with that is when people are in a fight or flight, they can't see, they can't feel, they can't think, they don't know what to do, and it's all fucking hitting the fan. So the problem that we have is if we ask logical questions to someone who's highly strung out emotionally, guess what's going to happen? And it's like, what is going on? So what I wanted to do is I wanted to give someone a safe space to move forward. Yeah? So as Brian just said, so when you look at this, is it a case that you've done something like this in the past and it hasn't really worked out? Or is it a case that, you know, you haven't done something like this ever and you don't really know? Or is it a case that, you know, there's something else potentially coming up? What do you feel is the path for you of why we're in this situation? So you have to give a couple of options. And giving a couple of options allows that person to progress the conversation forward. And that's all I want to do. So be very mindful, as someone earlier on told me, when you're dealing with bucket trees, you have to kind of like, you know, make statements. What we don't want to do when it comes to fear, guys, is make statements. Really important. You got to ask the questions. Who gives us fear when we think of ones, twos, or threes, or people like that? Ones, who else? Twos. Has anyone ever saw a fucking bucket tree, and a proper bucket tree? Like proper. Talk about, I'm too scared, I'm too apprehensive, I'm too nervous, I don't really know what the fuck is going on. What you want to do and what you think about is, especially around bucket trees are never going to give you fear. Never, ever, ever. They will tell you the logistics and they will tell you about value and time. So if I'm getting to fear and I know it's fear, I know for a fucking certainty I'm not dealing with a bucket tree. So some of you are like, you know, I'm dealing with bucket twos pretending to be bucket trees and X, Y, and Z. You should know by now once it comes to fear, yeah? Because fear is the last piece of all of this, if you think of it. What's the first objection that you're going to get? Think about it. What else? So the first one you would get is a think about it or a partner. After that, you need to solve what? The money. After that, you're going to have to solve what? The logistics of how the money is moved around. And the last thing, typically, in every fucking conversation is what? Brilliant. So we know. Now, the second thing that we need to do is we need to normalize it. Why would I want to normalize it? Correct? Take the pressure out. What do I say to you yesterday? The first 3 steps is what? In every part of your conversation. The first thing you need to do is what? You need to figure out what? What did you just say?
What we do would work for you. Or do you feel like what we do would work?
Yeah. So the first thing we got to figure out is what we say. Yeah. The second thing we got to figure out is what?
How we say.
Yeah. The third thing we got to figure out is what? How we make the person feel. Yes? The last thing we want to do, guys, when it comes to handling someone's fear is make them feel what? Pressure, alone. What else? Unsafe, for sure. What else? Bad. Yeah. What else? Pushy, for sure. What else? When it comes to fear, guys, when it comes to overcoming objections, the last thing you want that person to feel is that they're unique. The last thing you want them to feel is that they're one of many, or they're one outside the many, sorry. The last thing you want that person to feel is that all eyes are on them. If I ask some of you to stand up in this room and tell me your life story, how many of you would be able to do that without having fear, stress, anxiety, worry, X, Y, and Z? Not a lot. So what we don't want to do is make that person feel any worse than what they're currently feeling for being fearful. So we're going to normalize it. How do we normalize it? Shout it out.
You say our top performers have had the same thought process.
Yeah, well, I don't want to think about the thought process. What do I want that person to hear? Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
It's common.
Yeah. Write this down. This is what I want you to write down. Yeah, look, I totally respect it, and to be very transparent with you, our top people that we have coached and trained feel, keyword, feel exactly how you're feeling right now, and they also have been in the situation that you're currently in right now. So I want you to know it is totally, emphasis on the word totally, okay. All right? Is that okay with you? So I want to bring that person down, and I want that person to feel what? Calm. Very good. So when people are calm, guess what they can do? Make decisions, but the most important thing is they can actually come out of what? Fight or flight. Very good. Why would we want them to come out of fight or flight? So they can think, for sure. What else? So when they come out of fight or flight, what does that allow them to do? Make a decision. Correct. All we're trying to do here, guys, when you're trying to handle people and you're trying to help people, is you have to allow them feel that you're there to help. The day that they do not feel that is the day they're going to, that is the fucking flight. They're not going to fight you. Some will. And that's where the whole concept of yes, no, fuck you, hang up came from. That's where that came from. But I've learned in my 32 years on this earth, funny enough, it's very, very hard to go to work every day knowing that you're going to get your dick kicked in. Now, I could do it, and I did do it, and I made a fuck load of money doing it. But after a while, guys, money is just money. It's just a tool. So then it was like, I can fight this person, or I could help this person fight and come out of flight. That's where this came from. Yeah, change the way they're looking at the situation. Belief system, very good. Know that they've done it already. I got to change the perspective of the lens that they see the problem, the issue, the concern, and ultimately the world motherfucking view. Does that make sense? So how do we do that? How do I help a person know and see and feel that they've overcome something like this in the past, or maybe they've done something like this in the past and the world hasn't fallen apart? An analogy. Very good. See how all this stuff starts to piece together? And it has to be done like this. I saw some of you yesterday just go straight to a worldview, and what did it induce? Yeah, but. See how it all pieces together? Some of you in the room are like, oh my God, how does this Irish guy know all this? I don't know, God-given talent, I guess, I don't know. But you have to do it like this. If you don't do it like this, I'm not responsible, basically, to what happens. If you do it like this, I'll help you make money. If you do it like this, I'll actually help you make a shit ton, but actually help you help a shit ton. So the worldview is very important because it changes the perspective of what the world gets to see. Okay, the next one is humor. And I know some of you struggle in this room because you're dry as fuck. Some of you are like, oh, Jesus. And then some of you are like my very, very good friend Christian Peters, like the funniest man in the whole room. And then it balances, yeah? But some of you have to figure out how to be humorous. Like you have to. And if you're not funny, you got to go to some comedy club or you got to go somewhere and like figure that out. Because like, if you don't help somebody take the pressure out of a conversation, you're going to struggle. Like you will. And like, no one says you have to go and be a stand-up, but you got to be able to just allow a person feel what? Comfortable. Correct. Yeah, and I know that's really hard for some of you because I look at the back of your eyes and there's a serial killer in there. So, see how funny I am? Like, it's like, yeah, but you have to find that. You have to find something inside that ultimately is like, gives a person peace and gives a person a feeling of being okay and safe. Yeah? Because when you're humorous and when you're laughing and joking, guess what you are? Relatable, human, yeah. Approachable, yeah. What else? Safe, yeah. Leader, sure. Was it? Control. There you go. When you're in control, guys, you can run the pace. When you're in control, you know what you're doing. Very much like Nikki and I were walking around this room. There's probably no doubt in any of our minds who's in control in this room. And that's just comes from a level of confidence backed up by skill sets. That's all it is, okay? So when you're cracking jokes, when the world is fucking falling apart in that person's eyes, they lean in on it. But also it allows the pressure to come out of the conversation. Because what you're doing is very pressurized. I don't want to add more pressure to it, yeah? And when some of you look like serial killers staring into someone's soul, it's like, holy moly. So it's got to be calm. It's got to be controlled, backed up by a skill set. Now the last one is the most important one. Write this down, guys. Binaries are yes or no decisions. Someone asked me yesterday, how do I know when enough binaries are enough? And it's like everything. How do you know how long you keep someone's head under the water? I don't know. Depends on how long you want to go to jail for, I guess. See, there's some humor again. Yeah? But the binaries are very, very important. There's 3 binaries that you have to focus on. The first person is who? Themselves. The second person is who? You. And the third person is who? Okay? Would you believe it? Yesterday I didn't actually know that. I didn't articulate that yesterday. I just knew it. And then someone came and spoke that to me and I was like, fuck, that is exactly what I do every time. Write that down. So you're constantly learning, you're constantly evolving, you're constantly putting the pieces to the puzzle together. I didn't actually know how to articulate that yesterday, so thank you very much who said that to me. Now you made me some more money. Awesome. Yeah? So the person, me, and the person they're doing it for. The first one is, I'm asking you, do you believe in yourself? It's a yes or no decision. Do you believe that you're worthy? Do you believe that you deserve? Do you believe that you're capable? Do you believe that you are in control? Do you believe that your family deserve the best? Yes or no? The second one gets the fear of me out, but it also gets them believing that what we're doing is going to be successful, which is really important. Yeah? Do you believe that I am the person to help you? Yes or no? It's done very softly. Do you believe that what we're doing here today can actually help your family? Yes or no? And do you believe that your family deserve this type of life? Yes or no? Very, very difficult, guys, to say no to all of those things. Because what I am doing, if you can understand where I'm speaking to, I'm asking the person to tell me why you're not going to, which is very difficult. Any questions on any of that? I know I spoke with you for 20 minutes there. Any questions? Now, this is the time to ask, guys. If you do have questions, please do ask. We can slow down, we can speed up, and we can move forward. Donovan? Well, they don't go to bed with their company, so I wouldn't. What I would say is, and that's a good point, the first issue that a lot of salespeople have is they think they're selling B2B, but they're not. That's what some of you guys think. If you are selling for a company that ultimately sells to another company with less than 10 employees, that is not a B2B company. Write that down. That is not a B2B company, because I have one of those, and I am not a B2B company. A B2B company is an enterprise company, a company that has hundreds of employees, a company has a SaaS, a company who fundamentally goes out there and provides a big service. If you are speaking to a founder-owned business, you are dealing with a B2C. So let that not be confused again. If you are dealing with a man or a female with less than 10 people that work with them, I would say even 20, you are dealing with a founder-led business. That is not a B2B business. A B2B business has stocks, has shares, has C-suite executives, has a fucking HR department. How many of your companies have a HR department? I know if we had a HR department now, we would be sued 50 fucking times. That's facts. How many of you have a HR department? And anybody in this room sell for a company that has a HR department? Nobody? So there's no one in this room selling B2B. Point blank. To answer the question though, what you do need to do is you do need to, because you are going to speak, if you speak to someone that owns the business, you do need to speak in this capacity. Yeah? But it's a little bit different. B2B sales are a little bit different, same concepts, but a little bit different. Yeah? But let me just tell you guys, which is really fucking important, because people in this room or people out there, like if you sell a fucking AI tool to companies with less than 10 million in turnover a year, that is not a B2B deal. Straight up. That is a fucking B2C. Then I've uncovered something that you get a choice. Do I actually stay with this person and help that person believe in themselves, or do I go and fucking piss off? As I said to you yesterday, when you have 10 pieces of rice and you have 10 positive conversations in you a day, typically you got to decide if this person is worth fighting for, if they're not willing to fight for themselves. That's what you got to ask. Is this person who's shown me a lack of confidence in themselves, is this person worth me giving one of my pieces to today? That's the choice. That's what you get to do every day. Now, at the start of the day, if you're very lucky, you got 10 or 8 or wherever you guys work. I want you to think of that every day, guys. If you have 8 hours available on your calendar, you got 8 pieces a day. That's what you got. How many of those pieces would you like to bring home to your loved ones? What do you guys think? All? Fuck, look at you. Anyone else?
As many as possible.
As many as possible? Yeah. Anyone else? How many would you want to bring home? We all want to bring them all home for sure, but like you have to make money, so what do you get to do? What do you guys think?
At least one.
At least one? Fuck, you're going to have a miserable life. But what I'm saying with that, guys, is like if you bring it all the way down to 1 or 2, like you're mentally spent by the time you come home. So that's a better conversation of like, is this person worth me fighting for? And if I look at somebody dead in the eye, not like some of you serial killers, but like I look at that person dead in the eye and I say, do you believe in yourself? Yes or no? Do you believe that your family deserves this? Yes or no? And they say, I don't know. But they've already signed their own contract and not having the life they wanted. So why would I want to waste my time? I've learned that in life, guys. When you make enough sales, what you end up doing is you end up protecting people. Put up your hand if this is ever you. What you end up doing is you end up fighting for people. And you say to people, I'm with you, I'm there for you, come on, join, I'm going to protect you. I got you. What then tends to happen is the first piece of discomfort for that person. Guess what they do? Hey, you told me you were going to protect me. You told me you were going to do this for me. I gave you my money. I trusted you. Anyone ever felt like that? You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? When did I fucking become your husband or wife? Correct? And that's because you fought for somebody that wasn't willing to fight for themselves. Where you are in your life right now, whose fault is that? Good or bad? It's not me. You might be in our room, me and Nikki in the boys' room, but I'm not going to save your life. You guys may not even remember my name in 10 years' time. And I'll be fucked if I remember yours. That's the facts, correct? So at the end of it all, guys, good or bad, you guys are behind the wheel. And your job as salespeople is to give someone else that belief. So I spent, again, I'll always go back, the first whole day telling you you are in control, telling you you are behind the wheel. In every decision, in every capacity, good or bad. If you're overweight right now in this room, that's your fault. If you're in this room and you got spots on your face, that's your fault. If you're in this room and your bank account is not reflective of what you want, that's your motherfucking fault. Nobody around you. Now, there's many people here that can help you, but nobody loves you more than what you should love yourself. It's the same for your prospects. Well, themselves is basically themselves, and you is basically me. Yeah. No, not us as the sales guy. Not us as the sales guy. It would be us as the company.
As the company.
Yeah. Do you believe in us? Do you believe in me? Do you believe in what we have shown you today can help you guys, or how do you believe, yes or no? Yeah? Because fundamentally, guys, your job as a salesperson is to be a conveyor belt. Believe it or not, unless you're doing fulfillment. So, I wouldn't do it that way. Anyone else? Danny? Well, yeah, it can't always be for them, because who here wants to live a life on their own? Anybody want to live a life on their own? Anybody want to own a cave in the back end of Afghanistan and live there on your own? Anybody in this room? Anybody? So whether they have someone in their life right now, who here has a mother or father? Dead or alive, whatever. Who here has a brother or sister? Very good. Who here has a friend? Who here has a girlfriend? Who here has a boyfriend? I'm looking at you every day. What I mean by that is we don't go through this life alone. We're not meant to. We're not meant to. We're meant to have friends. We're meant to have relationships. We're meant to have people that we love and trust and have value in. Does that make sense? So even if they don't have a family right now, can I ask, like, does your future family deserve this type of life that you want to provide for them? Yes or no? Can I ask the future husband that you want in your life, does he deserve you to be the best that you could be so you can attract the person that you want in your life? Yes or no? Can I ask the kids that you want to bring into this world, and maybe you don't want to bring in, maybe you're going to have nieces and nephews and loved ones, maybe you're going to have godchildren. Do you want to be able to be in a position to give them everything that you may not have got yourself as a child? Yes or no? There's 3 different hooks. If you didn't write them down, I'd write them down because there's no more recordings. So if you want them, write them down. Yeah? They may have never done something and it's all new, or something else. Can I ask? You've got to give them 3 options. 3 options and no more. The reason why you don't give 2 options is what? Why would I not just give 2 options? Boxing them in. But what if it's actually not any of the 2 options? Huh?
Binary comes last.
Binary is last. No, this is first. So this is.
If it's 2, then it's binary, and binary.
Yeah, but at the top, I need to have 3 because I need that person to give. I need that person to feel what? Options, which is space. Yeah. At the end of a conversation, if you understand the funnel, guys, at the end, the binaries are here. All I want them to do is say yay or nay. I want them boxed in at the end, but at the top, I need them space to what? To think, but to breed. Yeah? So we have to give them 3 options. Have to give them 3 options. And the last one is up to them. I'll give before, I'll give tomorrow, and then the last one I'll just say something like that. Or is something else potentially coming up? You have to give them something else to go away to. The reason being, guys, is if I just tell them what their fear is, guess what's going to happen? What happens? If I tell somebody how they feel, guess what's going to happen? They're going to deny, they're going to lose respect, but ultimately what it ends up doing, it ends up becoming my problem. And it ends up becoming about me, which the goal is never to do that. So you have to give the last part, which is really important. I works in 2s and 3s, if you can understand. Everything is a 2 or a 3. It's a 3 up top, a 2 in the bottom. Gavin?
What's the second one, like before?
So when you look at this, is the uncertainty coming from someone, or it's potentially you've done something like this before, or you may have never done anything like this and it's kind of new, or is there even something else here?
Thank you.
All right. Yeah? This is really important. Where is it coming from? You have to ask questions like that. You have to ask the person to be calm enough to tell you. When you write that down and give them the options, yeah, it's then down to how you make that person feel, which at this, now where we are in this process, we should have allowed them feel safe. Okay? Now, what typically happens is they will tell you where it's coming from. So this is why I want you guys to know what the words actually mean. I want you to know what the words mean behind what the words are being spoken. So if someone says this, it's just a big decision, I've never done something like that before, what type of fear is that? Could be fear of tomorrow or fear of themselves, correct? So now you know. So now you know you've gone from 4 down to 1. And now you know how to zone in. Go for it.
I think I've heard you say this on trading before, where you said,
Oh, here we go.
like, what makes it a big decision, and then they say, like, oh, it's just a lot of money. So can it turn into just like a money conversation, or would you not really go down that
Yes, but if you think of money, which is a financial commitment, guess what that drives into? Fear of money and fear of... People don't fear money. What do they fear? Losing it. That's what it actually is, if you understand. If you all knew, point blank, you gave me $1, I gave you back 3, how many of you would like be in a position, I'm like, I can't give you enough dollars? Anyone ever be like that? Thank you, Chris. I know you got plenty of them, so that would be good. Yeah? So if you fundamentally, bottom line, knew 100%, bulletproof, FTC regulated, all that great stuff, that if I gave you 1, you gave me 3, you'd all be breaking my fucking neck trying to give me dollars. But the problem is they don't know. And that's where the fear is driven from. Yeah? So it'll come out as, look, it's just a big decision. I've never done something like this before. Yeah? Now, this is what? What is that? What's that whole frame there? Normalizing. Very good. Right. Hey, totally understand, totally appreciate how you feel. There's a word here that I actually don't like, and I'm just looking at it on the screen. What is it? Yeah. No, it's but. See, we all make mistakes, me included. I probably shouldn't have had that there. But I was probably drunk and, trying to get off with some air hostess, I guess. So I got a little bit tipsy-whipsy. So anyway, the but shouldn't be there. What would I change instead of the but? However, that's a big word. However, me, I'm not into big words because I'm dumb. I would probably say, now, I will. But you could say, however, because you are very educated, I'm not. So I would say, hey, totally understand and totally appreciate how you feel. Now I will add, this is growth champ. Some of you were giving out about this word yesterday. And some of you Americans think this is derogatory. When we say buddy or friend or champ or, what other words don't they like, Matt? What? Buddy. Buddy is a big word here. Yeah, buddy is a derogatory word here, but it's never done from us in a derogatory term. Sport. Yeah. Squirt. I said squirt. I knew you said sport. Just wanted you to be under the collar. So when we say words like this, guys, I know a lot of you Americans are all up in your feelings and stuff like that, but that's an endearing way of us communicating us over the other side of the pond. Okay? So I would say, now this is the feeling you want, because on the other side is the life you actually want. Correct? Now, what's this frame?
Worldview.
Correct. Can I ask, and some of you are like, how do I create analogies? How do I create hooks? How do I create reframes? And I did some exercises in our elite group where I asked you guys to write the shit down. Now there's a higher level on top of that if you know how to hold frame, and it's very fucking simple, and you just ask instead of telling. Yeah? So can I ask, have you ever done something you were a little unsure of? Anybody ever done something they were a little unsure of at the start? Anyone ever box in this room? Other than Nikki? Anyone ever box in this room? There's a level of fear that you face when you know your head is going to get punched in. It's actually something that is so fucking weird. It's hard to put it into words. But after a while, you know that you're not made of glass, and you know that your face can take a pounding. And especially when you're wearing pink gloves and 20 ounces like our boy Jordan does. It doesn't hurt that much when you have pillows on your hand. Yeah? So you can use stories and you can use different frames and different stuff. But you could also just ask the question. So can I ask, have you ever done something you were a little unsure of? And before you did that, you were nervous, you were apprehensive. You were in a state of, what the fuck is going on? And then you did it, and you won. Now, if they don't answer me, if they're in a position where like, they're just not truly ready to answer questions, or they're truly not ready to come out of the fight or flight, then you can't just stop the conversation and ask them, why can't you tell me the answer? Because that's going to give them more what? Resistance, but it's going to give them more fear, more anxiety, more stress. Hey, why are you stressed? Have anyone ever said that to a person? Hey, why are you stressed when they're stressed? You're like, or if someone's upset, hey, why are you upset when you're upset? You're like, I fucking hate you right now. Any ever been like that? What? Yeah, just calm down. Like, just stop shouting at me and throwing the glasses at me. That typically ends in a divorce, I think, Christian, does it? So in the end, you then have to tell the story if they're not willing or wanting. Okay? Now, a very simple story is this. Have you ever asked the girl out? Did it end up in you having a good time, Gavin?
Yes.
Yeah, my man. Yeah? See, on the other side of the insecurity is the price. Don't run away from the feeling. Why do I want to keep zoning in on this word? Why do I want to keep normalizing that? Why do I want to keep bringing that to the conversation?
Takes their head out of the game.
Yeah? What else? What else do you think? Why do I want to keep going to where the block is? Why do I want to keep reinforcing what's the block?
Because that's what we need to get over to make a decision.
Correct. If this is the issue, how the person is feeling, and if I keep reinforcing and keep bringing it up, guess what I'm doing? Subconsciously. But now I know what I'm doing because I'm in control. Guess what I'm doing when I keep going to the well? I'm making the person what? Face it. But what I am making that person overcome it, but I'm making that person normalize it, which is really important. Yeah?
So it's like oh, it's all part of the process. It's kind of like the internal dialogue we want them to start.
Yeah, I want them to start being okay with how they're feeling. Because the faster I can make them normalize and understand this, but also be okay with this, guess what's going to start happening? They're going to start making decisions even though they are feeling. Yeah? Which is important because you want that person to make a decision. You want that person to go. Okay? Now, this is my Irish humor. You were all waiting for it. So grab your balls and fucking push, because this is the life that you want, right? Now, some of you can't speak like that. Some of you don't have the cojones like Billy Boy does. But that's what I'm saying to you. You got to go find it. You got to go find your humor. You got to go find a personality. You got to go find something to hold off. You got to if you want to win the game of life, you're going to have to be someone that's not fucking vanilla. Does everyone understand that? Anybody like vanilla? Chocolate. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate? Milk chocolate. Milkies. You're kind of in the middle, Gavin. I don't really know. But you're like, yeah. Yeah. Anybody like vanilla ice cream? You can. I don't mind it. But the problem is, guys, if someone ever called you vanilla, guess what they're doing? They're insulting you. Yeah? How many people do you know that are vanilla that make the money that you guys want to make? Does everybody know a person in this room that you want to go and chase down and beat? Yeah? Does everybody have that person? As Nikki told you, you have to have someone to fight. I got like 2. And they're everything to me. Like, they give me everything. Like, I want to see those people die. I do. And it may be just in a business capacity. Of course, I don't want them to die. But if they do die in person, they will die business. So maybe, I don't really know. I don't know. I'm only joking. Fuck. Jesus Christ. Yeah? But everybody should know somebody that they want to chase down. And if you don't, you have to make it up. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think for a second, is that person vanilla? Or do they stand out of the crowd? Do they talk their shit? Are they going to back it up? Are they in physical shape? Are they in a position where they can walk into a room and eyeballs start to push in? Does everybody know that person? Okay. You cannot be what you guys are today and go and have what you want tomorrow. It doesn't work. My brother said something to me there yesterday, which I don't really get to understand anymore. I don't really get to see it because I just live this life now, which I'm very proud to do. But he's never been in a room like this. And he knows me as his little brother. That makes sense? So he knows like 0 to 5 and 10 and X, Y, and Z. But he said something to me yesterday and I was like, oh fuck, that's interesting. He said, when I walked into the room yesterday, everyone just went quiet. Everyone just sat the fuck down, sat up in their chair and fucking listened. He said, I've never seen that before. Which was like, oh, that's interesting. So if anyone ever called me vanilla, Nicky boy is on their ass. So what I'm trying to get you to understand, guys, is you're going to have to find a bit of a personality. You're going to have to find a little bit of humor in your life. You're going to have to walk, a little bit taller. You're going to have to walk with a little bit more confidence in yourself. You're going to have to walk with a little bit more, we call it swag over in the UK, but I don't know what you guys would call it. What would you guys call it? Same? Swag. There you go. Yeah? You're going to have a little bit about you. Okay? So this is where I am at. Yeah? This is what I would say. Now, when I would say something like this, gets where I'm going with this. I start speaking with a little bit more zip. I start speaking with a little bit more volume. And I start speaking with a little bit more authority. Because if you can understand the funnel, guys, and you can understand what you're trying to do with people, you start small and you build up into it. Yeah? Lots of you are like at the top, think about it, partner, and you're like speaking like directly at somebody, and you're like, hey, do you want to do this, yes or no? And it just doesn't work. So you have to funnel it down. So if you can imagine you're funneling it down and you're going up, does that make sense? As you get closer, now you start getting stronger. You get closer to the end, you're going upwards. Yeah? Does that make sense?
So more money long at top.
What's that?
More money long at top. And then just start.
More what?
More money long at top.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah?
So I have a question. I see you also combine worldview and humor.
Yeah.
Like, is that, because that's how I'm kind of doing, combining worldview and humor. Like,
Yeah.
I like
Well, it's the same thing.
Like, yeah, okay. Have you ever kissed a boy and then they're talking about me, a girl?
Gavin does.
So that's
Yeah. Well, that's a great question. So if you understand binaries, humor, worldview, that's a triangle, as I say to you guys all the time. Those three aspects of this whole entire funnel work hand in hand. It's not a case of you go through your worldview and next minute, now you're supposed to tell a funny story. They're supposed to all combine together. That's a good question because some of you are like, okay, now I did the worldview, now I'm supposed to be funny, and then it's like, what the you're like, what the fuck just happened? And now like, I was working well, and now I tried to be funny, and now I'm getting a lawsuit. It's weird. Yeah. I've learned over the last 2 days, hands up. Yeah, Gav?
Tell the truth to yourself so you can tell it to other people.
Fantastico. Anyone else? Oh, sure, I was gonna fucking, what else?
Can't overcome other people if you can't overcome yourself.
Fantastico. Someone else? See, I'm learning my Spanish, Maddie. I told you, but I am going to learn it. Yeah.
Just being really solid on your skill set, knowing exactly, how to actually handle the right objections so you can have the confidence when you're handling it.
Yep. Very good. Last one. Paddy?
Boring's a good thing.
Boring is a good thing, yeah. Well, I'm not boring, but anyway, thank you very much. Very good, okay. Excelente. Fear is the hardest and the biggest and the baddest motherfucking objection in the market. Why? What do you think?
Personal.
Personal, for sure. What else?
Subjective.
That's a big word, subjective. Very good. Geez, you're fucking fancy. Subjective. Don't forget, I'm a dumb Irish boy with 8,000 people in my town. Yeah? Someone else? Why is it the hardest objection? Yeah, go for it.
Because I think you're unraveling like someone's like full trauma, full life story.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. As you've probably seen, guys, there's a pattern to how I speak. There's a pattern to, obviously, people that speak. Guess what we do? We repeat what we want you to learn. We repeat what we want you to write down. We repeat what fundamentally is what I want you to take away. It is hard to overcome somebody's fear and ask them to tell the truth when you're lying to yourself. It's very powerful, isn't it? Yeah, it's a very powerful frame. Very hard to be honest if you're not honest with who? Yeah. And that's what JJ was talking about. I've learned so much from JJ. I'm not even lying, I'm not joking, and I'm not trying to big him up because he's in the room, and I say thank you to him. It was fucking strong, powerful. And he said one thing from a question, and someone says like, but what if I'm not what I'm trying to portray? What if I'm not the guy or the girl that I'm trying to emulate and try and become? What are you? You're a liar. A phony. And do you know what happens with liars and phonies, unfortunately? What happens? They get found out, they get caught for sure. But what really happens internally is they do not like themselves. Because when you have to lie for a living and you got to pretend, it's very, very hard to pretend and lie forever. That's why he said just tell the truth. Like if you're making 6, go and tell the world you're making 6, because in 2 years' time, when you're making 30, that's a fucking story, isn't it? Hands up, what's your best, like, action film? Anybody? Rambo. Yeah? At the start, he starts with what? Getting his dick kicked in, isn't he? Yeah. What happens at the end of the film? It's either 2 things. He saves the day or he gets the girl. That's how films typically end up, right? Save the day, get the girl. Yeah? What happens at the end of Rambo? Gets arrested. Yeah. Is that you, Rambo, here? What's going on? So he saves the day, doesn't he? What is that? What is that whole film about? It's a hero story. It's a hero's journey. Now, I'm not going to say you're going to be my hero. Yes, but what you can be is your own fucking hero. And that's a very powerful word, hero, isn't it? It's a very icky word, to be quite honest with you. I don't really like the word. It's a bit like Superman. I got a Superman crest on my arm. Not because I was my own hero, because I was young, dumb, and full of... yeah? But you should tell your own story, and tell your own story about what you experience, who you are, and what you're facing. Because then you will want to do it. When you're lying to yourself and you're lying to your prospects, I know most of you don't pick up a phone call, but it's very, very hard to put on your camera, isn't it? Very, very hard to handle someone's objections. It's very, very hard to go back to back to back to back on calls, isn't it? Because you're pretending. People ask Nikki all the time, or the boys, they say, is Bill actually like that? Is he going to call me, see you next Tuesday? And is he really going to be like in my face? I don't know. You guys can write those reviews when you fuck off. Yeah? So how many of us in this room came in lying to ourselves? Who can be honest about that and put up our hands? Like you thought you were coming here to just learn tactics and hooks and reframes and all of this great shit. And now I called you a liar. And you're like upset and hurt. But being upset and hurt can do two things. It can actually give you the encouragement to go and actually stop lying to yourself, or you can be offended and you're going to dig your heels in. That's what typically happens. So hands up here who felt that they were lying in some capacity. Maybe they were lying to themselves about the level of skill sets that they have. Or maybe they're lying about a relationship. Or maybe they're lying about how they truly feel. Maybe they look in the mirror and they tell themselves, I'm actually not that fat. And you're like, yeah, you are. It's actually not that bad when I look at my bank account because like everything can get taken care of. We won't have anything left every month, but this is the life that we have and this is okay. And those are lies that we tell ourselves to make ourselves what? Feel better. And when we feel better, guess what we're not going to do? Change, grow, but also what are we not going to do? Because if you think you're the biggest, the baddest, the sexiest, all the money in the entire world, it's very hard to get out of silk sheets in the morning at 6 in the morning. Who said that? Probably one of those fellas. It's very hard to do the work when you believe there's no more work to what? So I'm asking you, how many of you are in this room need more work to do? I'm asking you, how many of you in this room now look at where you are and are encouraged and are passionate and are driven to get better? Fantastico. So lying and pretending are very, very similar. Who here pretends? Anybody? Who here pretends? Context is this. If I'm lying, I'm pretending to be somebody else that I'm not. If I'm lying to myself and I'm pretending that I'm okay, but I'm actually not. I'm hurt. For years, I pretended that I was strong. For years, I was pretending that my dad didn't hurt. For years, I just ran away from the emotion. For years, I pretended that I wasn't able to be loved. There's some vulnerability for you. Yeah? So I pretended for years and years and years until it came to a time when I had to stop pretending in order to motherfucking go. So I'm going to ask that again in the context of me throwing myself under the bus. How many are in the room that are pretending? You don't have to put your hand up, but just give me a quick nod. Okay, fantastic. What you feel will ultimately come out on your calls. Would that be fair to say? Is that a fair assessment in this room? If you're weak, guess what happens to your language? And you could be the biggest man in the room. You could be the strongest man in the room. And equally, you can also be what? You can be the weakest man in the room, or woman. So it's what you feel in here is ultimately what will come on and come out there. And that's really fucking important. And I think they do. When people don't get their way, guess what happens? Their true self comes out. The real version, correct. We saw a lot of that when we were younger. We saw a lot of people in the pub that were actually weak inside and it comes out. Anyone know a person that's like the quietest person in the room, wouldn't say boo to a ghost? You give them 2 drinks, they're standing on the table stripping. Everybody know a person like that? Yeah? Is that their true self? I don't know. I look at both people and I'm like, I don't know who's who. Is this who you are or is that who you are? So when you're weak inside, it comes out. And when you're trying to lead people, unfortunately, guess what happens when people see your weaknesses? They lose confidence and they do what? They run away. They lose trust and they run away. And when people run away from you in sales, they're basically telling you how you speak, how you look, how you sound. It ain't for me, I'm out. Every objection, every sales call, every offer, every problem, concern, you got it. Anyone in this room? Fantastic. Because you shouldn't be in a room if you feel like that. If you feel you know more than everybody else in the room, you're in the wrong motherfucking what? Correct. Now, the second part of this is who is giving it all they got? Put up your hand. Giving it all you got. Anybody? Would you believe it? I'm not even going to put up my hand. Because I would be insulting to the person I'm becoming if I thought I'm already there. That's powerful, isn't it? How can I tell myself that I'm already there if I'm trying to grow? How can I tell myself that I'm already at the destination if I'm still on the motherfucking motorway? It don't work. Every day you get a chance. Hourly, weekly, monthly, yearly. You get a chance every day. My job is to give you enough skill sets to give you that chance. Correct? That's my job. That's what I was born here to do. That's what you guys fly me out to do. I get a chance to be in rooms and to give you something and to get something out of you. Yeah? But what I do want you to know is we all got to keep working. We all got to keep going. We all have to keep spending. We all have to keep going and spending and building and fucking pushing. Me included. The day you stop spending for yourself, and guess what word I'm using that I don't want the word, I'm waiting for someone to pick it up on. Spending. Who spends? So I wrote that there for you guys because I wanted you to fucking correct me. I wanted you guys to have the accountability in yourself to pull me up on that. But I had to ask you. You don't spend. What do you do? Invest. You invest. And I invested my time over here. And I will say I am human, as I say to you 10 times, because me and Nikki went out Tuesday, we turned into 2 beers, turned into 200. Next minute we're rolling around in a ditch and I don't know how I got home. So I'm human. I'm a man. Shoot me dead. But I intentionally got on the plane and I worked. And I invested my time. I didn't spend my time. I invested my time because I wanted to come in here and hopefully influence one of you to make a better choice tomorrow. If I could do that, then I've done my job. Yeah? But I chose to train. I chose to build, to grow. And we all got choices every day. And every day we try and make a better one. Correct? Every day we're trying. Every day you get a chance, you get choices, and it's up to you what you do with them. The question that you have to ask is, if you're here and you want to go here, what do you need to do? That's the question. What do you need to do? Yeah? Would I be against what I'm doing here today to say to you, if you want to grow and learn and build and get better, that you have to keep going? If you learn what I'm trying to give you today, will it get you on the right path? Yes or no? Okay. My goal for this event was very simple. I had 3 goals. The first one was to let go so you can let in. How did I do that? Someone answer me. What did I do? Today, first day, what did I do?
You're vulnerable.
I was vulnerable, correct? What else did I do? Did I tell a story?
Yes.
Was I honest? Did I speak the truth? Did I say I'm a dumb Irish man from a small town with 8,000 people? all true. In order to understand everybody else, you first have to understand yourself. And if you don't understand yourself, then I would fucking highly recommend you start doing. And hopefully what we've done here in the last 2 days is beginning for you guys to start asking questions and writing shit down. And having time to fucking just think. Yeah, having time just to think. Because if you have time to think, guess what comes up? Ideas, but more importantly, guess what comes up? Questions. Am I? Could I? Would I? Should I? That's what you want. Overcome the fear within so you can win out there. So when it comes to needle movers, there was 3 things that I said. There was 3 things. Number 1, I had to help you let go so you can let in. Number 2, I'm trying to educate you on people so you fundamentally can do the 2 of them together. And then the 3rd key of all of this was, if you know people and you know yourself, then guess what you know how to do? You know how to help people, which is the fears. So if you know yourself, you know the people, and you know how to help the people, guess what you do? You grow, you build, and you help. And I've given some of that today, which is really important. The next step from here, and I'm very fortunate enough that lots of you are in my trainings and coaching, and I appreciate that beyond anything. Yeah? Nothing either. I am nothing, I got nothing. Yes? I can do push-ups. Fantastic. Yes? I can shoot a gun back in my military days. But I know I can fucking lead. I know that to the core of myself. I can give you everything you need to win. And I've done it endless motherfucking times to be a top salesperson in this game. Correct? Fantastic. Now, what I also can give you is my focus. What I can also give you is my determination. What I can also give you is the belief in yourself. And I can help you fill up your bucket. And I can help you fill up your cup, which is really fucking important when you're trying to win the game of life. Yeah? I can give you a level accountability that fundamentally make your family proud. Who here wants to make their family proud? Good. Now, what I can't do, I can't actually do it for you. And the real truth is I actually don't want to do it for you. As I said to you earlier on, I can't fight for you if you're not willing to fight for yourself. I can't make it important in your life. I can't make your loved ones and your life that you want to build worth it. There's 2 big words I've used over and over and over again over the last 2 days. What are they? Worthy. What's the next one? Legacy. I can't make you worthy and I can't make you build your legacy. It's your family. It's your career. It's your home. That's what it is. All I can do is ask you, are they worth it? Are they worth the pain? Are they worth the hard yards? Are they worth the constant questions you are going to have every time you think? Are they worth it to continue to go and grow? I know from the bottom of my heart, I can get you there. I actually do. Like, beyond a question. But I can't meet you there. I can't meet you where you are. I can only meet you in the middle. That's the reality. I can't actually come to you. Now, I do ask to work with you, because I do want you, and I do want to coach and train and develop you. I'm very fortunate enough to help some of you. But I'm not fortunate enough to help you all. I said to you yesterday, guys, I'll never lie to you. Do you know what I am? I'm not a liar, but guess what I am on top of that? I'm a fucking salesman, you're right. I am. You would all be insulted if I lied to you, wouldn't you? Because I'm insulted when you lie to me. Because I've earned the trust for you not to lie to me, and hopefully I've earned your trust that I don't have to lie to you. Yeah? So 2025 is coming. The reason why I wanted to get over here this year early was because I wanted to make an impact. I'm very loyal to a man in the back of the room, and when he had his injury, we didn't go anywhere. Like, we normally try and go away a couple of times a year, and we try and come into rooms and help and all that. But I don't go anywhere without my team. But we're here now because he's getting healthy, and he's getting better. And that's great, because what he showed you guys, no matter what you're facing, no matter what you're doing, no matter what the obstacles are, no matter what the level that you're at, you can always grow and you can always build and you can always produce. Correct? Yeah? Okay. So, I'm in to win. Who here is in it to win? There's only like half a couple of hands. I'm so tired, fuck, it's Friday. I'm tired too, yeah. I've been standing for fucking 2 days, fuckheads. But you're all in the room to win. Yeah? The offer stands, what I said to you yesterday. Okay? I sat with the team, we figured out what it would look like, all of that great stuff, and I don't take that lightly. I never overlook it. And I never disrespect you guys. As long as I'll be in this game, I'll never disrespect you. And I'll never take it for granted. Okay? I love this life. And you can see the passion, you can see the pride, who you're trying to be. I actually do. And I know that if you're in the rooms and you are the one, that you deserve to go. And you deserve to build and fucking go out there and help a ton of people. Okay? So the offer, as I said to you yesterday, is very fucking simple. Okay? Elite is 16, it's 13 now. So I've given back. Alright? Many ways you do it. Speak to the guys, they'll help you. Let me get off this and then we'll keep going. Family is 5. That's normally 7. Okay? And then the last one for us, I'm going to make you do it, and I'm not going to fight for you if you're not willing to fight for yourself. I respect you guys. I cherish you guys. I fucking love you guys. I really do. And my name is Bill Welch. And this, what I get to do every day, is the fucking privilege of my life, and I thank you. Now,